Making money online. So 8 topics or 8 things that you can possibly improve upon to stay motivated. So hey, my name is George Pauly from georgepauly.com and welcome here. And so I want to give a couple of tips or some insights on 8 different things that you can improve upon or just realize so that you can stay focused and get your business going, because that's really kind of what it is, and motivated. So think of it, your business is kind of like a fire. And, first you have to start the fire, and second, you have to feed the fire. And once it's burning and that fire's hot, it will cook anything you throw on it. So that's just kind of like your business is, you can then, take this burning fire, add more logs to it, keep it going for a long time, and even take one of these burning pieces of wood, one of these sticks, logs or whatever, take it out of there while it's hot and burning and move it over somewhere else and start a second fire. So that's kind of like business, because everybody knows that, hey, you hear these guys where everything they do, they just keep getting more success and more success. Whatever they do, they get into another industry, another business, and bam, 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 bam. And that's how it works. Once you get the first one going, the other ones are easy. And so what have we got here? So in the make money online industry, staying motivated, it's kind of like, the fire which you just saw. And there's 8 things here. I'm going to go over them quickly, then go a little bit in depth. The first one is your why. Why are you pursuing online marketing? Why do you want your fire to burn? Distractions are everywhere. This is a good one for me, because it's usually someone else's agenda or something else that doesn't belong to me that, in walking away from a fire that's not burning, it's going to go out soon. Goals being unrealistic. All fires have to start out small. So keep those goals, small. Belief. Do you believe that you can have success or you can be successful? Hey, look, wood burns, all right? But if it's wet and you throw it on the fire, it may not burn right away. You're going to have to wait for it to dry out a little bit. Being tired and exhausted. Everyone today is just overworked. There's not enough time. There's all kinds of things going on. And, that goes not enough sleep, lack of mental clarity. And, let's just go back to the fire that, if you're burned out, if that wood is burned, it's not gonna, if it's exhausted, if it's ash, it's not gonna burn again. You need some fresh wood, okay? And then unhealthy habits or bad habits. Now, you need to take care of responsibilities. And, this fire, it needs to be stoked. It needs to be poked at. You need to tend to it to keep it going. And then the whole thing about being impatient. Building something fast usually falls down quickly, doesn't have a good foundation, and throwing big logs onto a fire that just started going, those big logs aren't going to catch fire. So a little bit more in depth here about your why. Now, I've been in network marketing for a long time, and I'm not promoting network marketing, but they always said, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's got to make you cry. And I just believe that's just a bunch of BS, because I have learned that the why is kind of like a long, not a long-term, it's a short-term thing. Well, why do I want to make some money? I need to pay my bills or my relationship or whatever it might be. And so those things are someone's why. But what if you looked at this 5 years down the road? Where are you at? Where's your life? And what do you want to be doing? Now, that's pleasure. Okay, that's pleasure. Maybe you've got a beach house. Maybe you've got a boat you're living on. You're sailing around the world. That's pleasure, and that's really a better why for you. So think about that. What's in it for you? Where do you want to be 5 or 10 years from now? The distractions. Oh, man, I tell you. When my wife is home from work, she wants me to drive her here, drive her there. My kid, if he's out of school, he wants to make paper airplanes. He wants to play, throw basketball. The remote control car, all that stuff. And so these distractions are usually other people's agenda. So if you can minimize these distractions, I think that you'll have a better chance of, keeping your eye on the ball, really. So number 3, realistic goals, okay? There's an old saying that how does an ant eat an elephant? Well, it starts one bite at a time. And you've heard that. Take on small little chunks like, hey, how to make $5 a day or how to make $100 a day. Start small from there and then, move on and grow from there. And once you start mastering the small things and then they get into a habit, which we'll talk a little bit later here, but that's when things will start to, get a little bit better from you. So pick some small goals, maybe $100, pay for the car, something like that, whatever that might be. That's a fantastic start, which then, goes to belief. Belief is like mindset, and I'm really big into that. And so you've got to believe that what you're doing is good, it's true, it's ethical and all that. And, if you look at your belief is normally based on past behaviors. And you might avoid something like if the stove is hot, not to touch it because we've all burned our hand on the stove, right? And so we believe the stove is hot, and we've learned from that. When we were younger, we also believed we couldn't ride a bike or it was hard. And I keep telling my son that because he's at the age where, learning how to ride a bike. And he's like, but Dad, it's hard, it's hard. I said, look, it's only hard because you believe it's hard. And you're telling yourself that. So whatever your belief is, like, oh man, I can't run a business, I don't know how to do this, stop. Stop that right now, all right? You may not have a successful business today, or you may not be where you want to today, but you can get there, all right? And that's the important thing, is you can get there. So believe, all right? Hey, look, no one thinks that we could have ever gone to the moon, and we did it. Mars is up next. Do you think that anyone believed that we could get to Mars? Oh, man. Wait till what's after that, right? Feeling tired and exhausted, number 5 here. Overthinking. I'm guilty as for overthinking things. And then that just, that mentally, it disturbs me. Then I can't sleep at night and this and that. And so how do you get rid of that being tired and exhausted and stuff like that? Well, that goes back down to the burnt wood and all that. And when you have fresh wood, when you have fresh motivation, fresh excitement, man, you'll run towards something. You don't need any sleep. All right, think about something that maybe you've been super excited about, or maybe even as a kid. Kids are like, they're tired and all that, but when it comes, and they don't want to get up early in the morning, but when it comes Christmas morning and Santa Claus left all those Christmas presents under the tree, that kid is up early and he's excited. So just thinking here, because let's use this belief concept. What have you been really excited for in the past that you started going after it? Maybe a project, working on something, building a model, I don't know, but man, you were excited and you believed it was going to happen and you continued to do it. Exactly. That's what you want. That's what you want. So then the next thing here, number 6, is fear, which everyone has different acronyms or sayings for this, but fantasized emotions appearing real, which again, the fire's hot, don't touch it, all right? We know that for a fact, but what if you had a fear about getting on a camera like I am right now, or what about if you had a fear of talking to the opposite sex, you wanted to ask somebody out? What if you had a simple fear of your business, like, well, man, what if nobody wants to buy this stuff? Those are false things that you're telling yourself, which is causing your belief to stop. And what about your belief? Then it becomes a distraction, and then your goal becomes way too big because you just don't think you can do it. So, those are, again, now leading into number 7, are bad habits. Because if you have a habit of telling yourself something that's not true because it's a fantasized experience, now I'm on a roll here, guys, so bear with me. But if you have, these bad habits, they just continue on. I'm not going to say a bad habit of mine is ice cream, but I like ice cream, and I like to watch it at night when I'm kind of chillaxing with my family in front of the television set. Yes, I do like to watch a little bit of that. And my bad habit is habitual. It's a habit. I do it all the time, and if I don't do it, something's like, my stomach starts grumbling. It's all the stuff up here in my head that starts telling me about what it wants to do. And it's a chemical imbalance and all this kind of stuff. I'm not going into that. But for a habit, if you can start something really small, like I learned something from launch hijacking, which I'm doing right now, and I think there is a link down in the description or my blog, somewhere like that. But this launch hijacking started out with something so simple that it developed a habit. And it was a good habit. And it was a good habit which I did daily and daily for weeks, for months, and then it became fruitful. And it brought me to something that I enjoy doing today. And again, that goes back to the pleasure and not my why of, hey, I want to pay for the house and the car, but my pleasure because I have things that I want to do that are important to me, that I want to be doing years from now. So the bad habits, it could be the diet, eating and all that, but as far as your business, there are things you should be doing for your business. Money-making activities. The 80-20 rule. Spend 80% of your time on things that make you money, and get in the habit of that and do those daily, or at least 5 days a week, okay? If you need a day off or two. The last one, number 8 here, is being impatient. I know some people that are very impatient, including myself, and being impatient, you start skipping a beat. You don't do the best job you can possible. All right, here comes my noisy god. There's my 5-year-old. But anyways, building something too fast usually falls down, and it's like the fire. Okay, if you throw all kinds of wood on this fire before it's built, that's being impatient. I want this fire now. If you want this business big now, it's got to be in small steps, and do those small steps. Take the time necessary to do it right. That's what you need to do. So when you're impatient, slow down. That ant eats that elephant one piece at a time. Your business will be built one brick at a time. Okay? So make sure that you have your eye on the prize and you have your why. That's your prize. Okay? Those distractions are going to be everywhere. Accept them, that they're going to be there, but be ready to deal with them. Have that realistic goal of what you're going to want a few years down the line, or today, or tomorrow. Believe that it's actually going to happen, because people are doing it. Yes, there might be a 95%ers who don't make it, but that's because they give up. They move on. They have the shiny object syndrome, the SOS. We'll talk about that another time. But the next thing is believe. You're going to be tired and you're going to be exhausted. Find something that motivates you. Find something that is pleasurable to you, and that excitement, that motivation will come, and you will not be tired, okay? You will have all kinds of energy. Those habits, create good habits, and you can be impatient, that's fine, but be impatient knowing that it's going to take some patience to get this done. So anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed this. Click on the link, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Leave me a comment, the bell, thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill. So I'm here to help you make money online and get your brain right. So the things that you do, move yourself forward to where you need to go and not sideways. Have a great day. GeorgePauly.com. Go out there, make some money, all right? Bam!